What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. So a little bit of a change up to video format. I'm just having a difficult time with my camera setup. That's really why I haven't been uploading videos. I've just been having a lot of technical difficulties, and I'm just kind of over it. And I need to get videos out because there's a lot of things to talk about in the VR space. And sometimes, preparing myself to be on camera, and then of course having the massive camera issues. Part of it's my fault because I'm using an iPhone on a stand that's connected to OBS, and it just doesn't work all the time. So it's been giving me some trouble. So I'm gonna do some more video formats, maybe without my face in it, and then some with it. So just gonna be going back and forth. So nothing crazy is going on there. So that's kind of where I've been a little bit MIA. I'm sorry for that. Today we are going to be doing a review of Breachers, which was a highly anticipated launch from the developers of Hyperdash and Triangle Factory. I will just say it outright. This game, I think there's a lot to talk about in this game, and most of it is good things. So we are going to hop on into that. Guys, do make sure you drop a like on this video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be trying to bring out more regular VR content now that I'm just done with the camera thing. It's just annoying. So to say the least. So yeah, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, drop in the comment section. What do you guys think about Breachers? I've been streaming this game a lot. I've been, Pop 1's going to be coming back here once the map comes back in too. So I'll be doing a lot of streaming on that. So guys, make sure you do hit the notification bell to be notified for all streams and all videos upload. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on into this game. Okay, so first up, I'd like to start with content and what are you actually getting in this game? And on top of that, I do think it's important to mention that, obviously I've put a significant amount of time into this game at this point, it being a little bit past launch. So I do feel like I have a pretty good opinion about how I feel about this game. So content-wise, what is actually in this game? So first and foremost, as of right now, there's 4 maps, 3 of which are the actual objective-based maps, and one of them is a team deathmatch map on a kill house map. Yada yada. The team deathmatch map really doesn't get played that much, and to be honest with you, it's not really what this game is made for, is team deathmatch. Actually, to be honest though, it's not terrible. The game mode isn't terrible, but I definitely think the game shines in more of the Rainbow Six Siege format. But there's only 3 maps. Now, to be fair, the maps are pretty versatile. The objectives do feel fresh. It definitely does not feel stale in any stretch of the imagination. Even playing it, over and over and over again, they don't feel stale. You do start to get comfortable with some of the environments the longer you play. So it does, you kind of see the same type of breaches and stuff. I do think that over time, that if they only had 3 maps, it would become stale. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. Triangle Factory they're a bunch of good developers, and I do think full-heartedly that they're going to add plenty more game modes and plenty more maps to this game. It does have really good support right now. The game has a good player base to it, so I think there's a lot of positives in that direction. But only 3 maps, and they're all the same game mode, which is basically search and destroy. Defend. One team's defending the bomb, one team's planning an EMP to defuse the bomb. So it's just, that's what the game modes are. There's a good amount of, actually, I do like the amount of versatility within the weapons. There's a good amount of weapons right now in the game. There's 13 total, I believe, along with a bunch of gadgets you can use. And, I do think that some of the weapons need a little bit of a balance change, just slightly. All of them are pretty good. You can use all of them. There's a couple, like the Viper, I think is a little bit weak right now. The Vezon's a little bit strong. It just doesn't make sense to use some other guns over the Vezon. The semi-automatic shotgun is so-so. It's situational. And I think that they would benefit from maybe making some of the weapons just a tad stronger so that, it wasn't just immediately everybody gets the Vezon and that's the way it goes. Because really that's pretty much the best strategy, is everybody just runs the Vezon if you can afford it. On top of that, where the content in this game, I think, is just really shining is when you get into a lobby that doesn't have bots in it, that actually has some players that are not just running around and getting smoked, and you actually have to work as a team. This game shines. It shines, and there's moments where you're breaching a wall, and it's a sweaty match, right? It's tied 4-4. It's basically first team to win seven rounds out of 12 wins the game, or you could draw at 6. And if you get a team that's playing together as a team, and you get an enemy team that's putting a lot of defenses up, and you actually have to take the time to breach the right way and use the equipment you get with drones and breaching charges and various grenades and stuff, the game really just shines so incredibly in those situations. I really do love it then. And there's some other times where, I'll be honest with you, some of the matches just aren't that fun. And it's, you know, typically because there's either bots in them, they have matchmaking issues right now, which is a whole separate, you know, problem that I think I have with the game right now, is the matchmaking is not very good in the game. And well, there really is no matchmaking, I should say. You have a chance to either go into a game by yourself and then your friends can either join you, or, you know, or you create a private lobby that gets basically no players joining and then you just play against bots, which is not fun at all. So hoping that that's a big update coming, because the matchmaking is certainly an issue for me. And I think that, you know, when they add the new competitive game mode, so there's actually gonna be a ranked in this game, I do think this game is going to be incredible with the ranked game mode, because you're going to get full teams of players. And then, you know, if you have a full team of players that, you know, you play with all the time, the game could be really fun. And like I said, when you're using all the gadgets and you're going up against a defensive team, if you're attacking and, you know, you have to use a drone to go scout it out, because, you know, if you hop in the window, you're a one shot. Like, that's the reality of it, right? So you throw the drone in there and, you know, you're working together as a team to breach. Or if you're on defense and you're placing all the defenses that you possibly can, it really does make a difference. You know, some of these defenses and the, you know, the actual gadgets, they change the course and they change the pace of the game. And it's really, really good. So overall, the content in this game is a mixed bag for me. There's not a ton in the game yet, but I do think that they're going to add a lot, and there's a ton of upside here. And what is in the game currently is definitely playable, and I think that you're going to be able to get a decent amount of time before you'll get bored. And I would be stunned if Triangle Factory doesn't have an update already getting ready to launch, probably within the next couple weeks, that's going to add 2 more maps. I do know there's 2 maps in development. 2 more maps is going to extend the freshness of this game dramatically, because like I said, the maps are big, they're versatile enough, the objectives are changed enough that it doesn't feel super stale. And if you add 2 more maps and then maybe a different game mode, like an escort game mode or VIP game mode or something, I think there's going to be a lot worth grabbing in this game. And the content wise, as long as they keep adding more guns, they add skins, because that's certainly something right now that's not in the game. There's really nothing to grind for, which I think is a... And, you know, knowing how they did Hyperdash, I know that they're going to have that. They already do have 1 gun skin that you get for pre-order, so I'm sure they're going to add like a whole shop and a bunch of gun skins and, you know, customization tags. And I think that those are things that really will set this game up for success in the future. But like I said, this game has a ton of upside right now. There may not be an absolutely boatload amount of content, but they will certainly add it over the course of the lifespan of this game, and it's definitely playable and a lot of fun.
Around the corner, Slash. Oh, you got the DMR. There's a frag on my body.
There's a syringe right here on my body. Mission VR. If you need it. Oh, it's right here. It's outside.
He's right behind that.
Oh my god.
Yeah! Let's go! Nice.
You fuck.
Sneaking up on him.
Bro, his name is literally just 007.
So moving over to our sound design here, if you guys have ever watched any of my game review videos, I generally find that sounds are, they're okay, right? They're 7 out of 10. You know, they get the job done. A lot of shooter games, the sounds just, you know, they get the job done, or the soundtracks, you know, whatever, it is what it is. And it doesn't take you out of the experience, but it doesn't really add to the experience. I cannot say that about this game. This game's sound design is fantastic. It's actually some of the best sound design I've heard in a game ever, to be quite honest with you. The sounds are just phenomenal. The gun sounds all sound amazing. The environments, it's quiet during the match, and sometimes if you're not an obnoxious team full of people that are just spewing out random things, which I just have to mute people like that because I can't focus whenever I have little kids that are just crying and whining the whole time. But if you get into a lobby where, you know, everybody's focused on the game and you're able to really listen to the sounds. Footsteps matter, right? Breaching matters. Sounds of guns matter. I found that, you know, the suppressor on guns makes a huge difference when you're sneaking around, right? You actually, you know, it is really quiet and you can't necessarily tell where the shots are coming from. And on top of that, there's times where you're walking around and then all of a sudden there is bullets that are just, you know, from a suppressed gun that are shooting through a wall, and you're getting hit and you have to crouch down and you're not sure where you're even getting hit from because there's just bullets flying in all directions. The sound design in this game is really amazing. The gun sounds generally are really, really good. The environmental sounds are really, really good. I think that this is one of the best sound designs I've heard. That it's hyper realistic at times in playing this game. You know, when you're walking with a teammate that's right in front of you and then they just get wrecked and they just drop from a silenced gun, like it's just so good. And then there's other times too where like in real combat, it feels like real combat in certain elements because, you know, you may not have a suppressed gun, and like if you unleash a magazine on somebody, you know, it's powerful. The gun sounds are just so powerful in this game. I do really like the sound design. It's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best I've ever heard. Graphics, moving on to our graphics section here. So overall, I think the graphics on the Quest 2 they're not bad. I think they're pretty good for a Quest 2 game. I can't complain too much on that. Aside from that, I don't put a ton of time into the Quest 2 versions because I do play on PC, and it's just, honestly, guys, it doesn't matter how good the graphics are in Quest 2, like they'll never even come close. Like it's just, that's the reality of it. PC, it's just that much better. It's so much superior to the standalone headset. So I am biased in that sense where it's hard. As far as the Quest 2 graphics go, I think that they were serviceable. Some of the better graphics I've seen on Quest 2. It's definitely a good outfit. Now, you know, on PC, the other side of things, I think the graphics are really amazing. And, you know, I think that this is general. A lot of this stuff is general for the game in general. It's not necessarily just a PC thing, but the shadows in the game, I think, are really good. The environments feel really good in the game. I cannot complain at all. I think the guns look amazing. And that's both for Quest 2 and PC. The guns look really, really good in your hands. I overall think that the graphics are great. Now, here's something that I would love to improve upon with the graphics. Currently, I think the bodies in the game, they look really good, and I don't understand why I can't see my full body, right? You know, if you've paid attention to me at all, you know that when I play games like Population 1, I can see my whole character's body, and I think that it adds an immense amount of immersion to the game. And just having floating hands, it's fine, it works, but it's something that they certainly could improve upon. That would make the graphics feel all that much better in the game, to actually see my arms and see the way I'm doing it. Now, of course, I would definitely like to see, you know, more scope options added and more customization to the actual visuals of what your weapons and even characters. I'd love to see some character skins added to this game, you know, that fit along the lines of the current theme that they're going for. So like the yellow team is more of a terroristy theme. Give me a couple different skins that I could pick from and, you know, do whatever, right? And same with the attacking team. But overall, I do think the graphics in this game are really good. There's some really good little effects, like the water sometimes dripping on the wall. Overall, you know, guns, the bullets. I think that the bullets as they're traveling, I think they look really good, and they add in the blood effects in this game, really good. Overall, really proud of that. I think that's it. Again, it just looks hyper realistic. It's a good overall graphical title. So when it comes to my verdict for Breachers, how do I feel about this game, and should you buy this game? I absolutely do think this is a buy now. I think this is 100%. If you are into a little bit of a slower paced tactical shooter that has a lot of realism, that has a lot of layers and strategy and elements to it, this game is going to be for you. And not only is it going to be for you, it's not just the fact that the game is what it is. The developers behind it have a good track record of doing really good with VR games. And with that, you know, we know there's a lot of content that's going to be coming. You know, they did an amazing job. I can't say enough good things about Hyperdash. It's one of my favorite VR games I've ever played. I think that they added a ton of content to it. There was a lot to do. The game was a lot of fun. I think this game overall, compared to Hyperdash, I think it could be way bigger than Hyperdash just because of the style of game. And if they do some of the small things like adding customization, adding, you know, weapon skins, adding things to grind for, to work towards, you know, that, you know, justify you continuing to play the game, I think it's going to be the biggest hit probably one of the biggest hits in VR in a long time. Some things I'd like to see them change for sure. I didn't really love the reloading. You know, it feels okay when you drop a magazine, put a new magazine in, but you don't have to, you know, charge the gun at all, which I think is a mistake. I know that it adds a little bit of a slower element to it, but like, you know, if I don't have any ammo in there, I should have to pull my bolt back and, you know, load around in the chamber before I shoot. That's pretty standard across VR shooters. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Right now, it's just on a timer. That's a really minor complaint, to be honest with you, but it's just something that I would like to have seen them add. On top of that, really, again, my biggest complaint is probably there's no arms and full body support. I think that being able to look down and see my full body would definitely be really, really nice. And it's something that they should absolutely add to the game. I think that it adds an immense amount of realism. And of course, looking down and seeing my guns floating there instead of being actually strapped to my chest, just little things like that. But other than that, the core gameplay of this game, I think, is really balanced really well. I mean, aside from, again, like I said, a couple guns I think are a little strong. It doesn't mean that they need nerfed more so. It just kind of negates the uses of some of the other guns. And I think that if they could find ways to utilize the other guns the same ways that the good guns are used, then it makes more sense. And then you can have characters that specialize. I do understand, I think they're bringing out an LMG. And, you know, I'd like to see them add a sniper at some point. These are specialty classes that I think people would love to focus on, you know, specializing in those skill sets of using those guns the right way and using them to their strengths, right? I think that's something that we all enjoy about, you know, shooter games, is being able to use guns and certain kits that, you know, maybe not everybody is accustomed to. I know that's certainly what I like to do. So overall, I think the verdict of this game is absolutely a buy right now. This is going to be a really good game long term. It's a good game now. You're going to love this game right now. And of course, when they add more content, I think this game a year from now is not even going to look the same. It is going to be incredibly diverse. It's going to have a big player base. There is a market for this type of game right now, and this is really the only one that's like it. So this is going to be a really good game, and I definitely recommend a buy right now. Well, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you found it informative and I helped ease your decision on whether or not you should buy Breachers. I do think you should buy it, and I hope to see you out there on the battlefield. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell. I've been doing a lot of streaming of this game and Pop 1, and I certainly like to see you guys in the chat section of that. So I hope to see you guys out there, and without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.